friends, family, subscribers to the YouTube channel, Adventuring with the S.G.O.C.C. So we got a pretty cool video for you today. So about, I don't know, many months ago, last summer, fall, Tim and I attempted this drive. It's called the Patagonia Ghost Town Trail. It's supposed to be 4 or 5 ghost towns, dirt roads, old mining camps. It's supposed to be pretty cool. Well, we relied on Google Maps and were sent the wrong way to a private resort development called Ghost Town Trail, with lots of gates, lots of locks, and lots of silliness. By the time we got back to civilization, Tim and I were both spent, so we bailed on it. Well, we did some research, Tim did some research, and we came up with Harshaw Road out of Patagonia. This is supposed to take us there. This is the beginning of what we think, we feel, by me and Brother Little. That's the we. Tim and Cassie are doing family stuff, and Joe couldn't make it. But we're in the Jeep, we're on a dirt road. That's Harshaw Road right over there, Harshaw Road. So let's go see what we can see and what we can find. All right, come along with us. Let the adventure begin. There you go.
Is it recording still?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Fabulous.
So this is my old cell phone that we used for probably half our videos. Then Tim got a new phone which had very much better visual capabilities. And yeah, we're going to be down into 4 high just at the beginning of this trip. I like it already.
So my minivan definitely would not have been an option for this trip. Okay.
That's why we have the Jeep. So neutral. 4 high. And yep. So when you pull into 4 high in a 4-wheel drive, if you don't have an indicator light or a twist knob that tells you how it is, then you got to go by feel. You can seat of the pants, steering wheel, feel when your vehicle's in 4 low or 4 high. 4 low for sure, because the front drivetrain will grind a little bit, giving you that low ratio. 4 high, a little bit different. You can feel when the vehicle, oh, look at all these striations here.
Yeah.
Man, we are in gold and silver country, peoples.
A lot of ferrous material in there.
Yeah.
Ferrous being iron, that's why it's all that red and that dark purple color.
Remember what we always say about gold and silver, folks. Precious metals ride an iron horse. If you find iron deposits, you have found precious metals. You just got to dig a little. And by dig a little, we mean dig.
Dig.
It ain't easy. But if finding gold is easy, everybody'd be doing it. And, uh-oh, we're 200 feet into it, and we're already at a...
We got one on the right here, we got one on the left. I say we take the left.
Let's stay left.
A little bit more passable of a road here.
This nice little outcropping here.
Yeah,
Middle of soil,
right
and we got a rock outcropping. If it was me, I'd break out my spade, my rock hammer, and I'd be going at it.
Now, as we've spoken about before, we are still in Arizona. The reason why everything is this green near the border is because we're in the middle of monsoon season. So in the last month and a half, just about, what, 5 out of every 7 days, we get a half-hour rain shower, maybe a ½ an inch, 2 inches at a time.
Monsoon bursts all over. Now, yesterday morning at my place started out blue sky, ended up clouds. You could see monsoon bursts in the Huachuca Mountains and areas west, which is, we are west of the Huachucas.
So,
but yeah, like brother says, we are in the middle of monsoon season, and when the rains come, they hit hard, and then they're gone.
So we got these cottonwoods out here, some aspens, some of these they're shrub willows. So they're structured like that, and then of course our classic mesquite tree, which is everywhere. A little bit of little cedar up on the top there.
Now, folks, we want to be distinct. He said shrub, not stub. We're not saying that some willows are stumpy and stubby and without height. we're not saying that at all.
No, not at all.
It's an indigenous type of plant called shrub.
Well, it's a willow shrub.
Yeah, it's not stub. So we want to articulate that and be clear. We are not casting dispersions.
That's true. On the plants around us. Absolutely not. Saltbrush grass.
This is also the kind of area that lends itself.
You got that nice wash over there.
Spotting the
wash over there.
Very hard to find Cotamunde.
So, is that the southern Sasquatch?
No.
Or is that the
Cotamunde is the furry-tailed little
yeah, it's the cross
creature
between the raccoon and a lemur. Yeah, no, it's
there. Tim and I saw one once on the west side of the lagoons up past China Camp, but we were both so flabbergasted, neither one of us grabbed our phones fast enough to film it. And it stopped in the middle of the road, looked at us, very mockingly I must say, looked at us and said, "You are not fast enough with your phone. I will be gone." And he crossed the road. We saw him climb over 2 rocks and poof, gone. Never saw him again. He was probably hiding in the brush going, "Ha ha ha, stupid tourists!" Which is, you know, yeah. A lot of our adventures, Tim and I, are absolutely halfway journalists and content creators and halfway ridiculous tourists in the wrong spot at the wrong time, seeing the right stuff. We fully admit that the things we discover are pure happenstance. I'm going to say the road more traveled is the way to go.
Yep, left. And I stumbled across one of those up in the Huachuca Mountains on it's the Black-tailed Deer Trail. And he got in an overhang above us, and I say he, of course not knowing one way or another, but they started to chitter, and they literally will chitter. It sounds like a cross between a child babbling and some kind of chick bunk chittering at you.
Well, we now know why this was the road traveled.
Because
it goes to a gate, because there's been a lot of activity driving through here, but we have a, I don't know, is that a locked gate or just
that is, I don't know.
No camping within half-mile of Warhol or Trout.
It is not locked.
And as most of you folks know, we'd rather ask forgiveness than permission. So we going for a ride through the gate. You know, forgiveness over permission. Yeah, because you can, even at 6'3", I can look an officer square in the face, dead in the eye, and say, you know, I didn't see the sign, sir. I'm really sorry. Won't happen again. I apologize for any transgression. But yeah. So I'm holding my drink cup, the camera, the selfie stick, and driving all at the same time. So excuse my shaking of my hand. So this is our selfie stick, new tripod that we picked up. I picked up. Best $5 I ever spent on a piece of equipment. We like it a lot, but I'm still getting used to it. And for the second time, Tim's not here to help film. Oh, would you look at that? Now we know why there's a gate. Let me zoom in on this critter, who I didn't even notice at first. There's a bull.
The 2 cows there?
Oh, there's 2?
Yeah, there's a something that looks similar to a Hereford cross of some kind or another.
Yeah,
that red and white one.
Darn. I zoomed in a little bit.
No, that's all good. And then
yeah, I didn't notice those at first.
Yeah.
And
Got 2. There might actually be a 3rd one behind you.
Did you see that cow? He looked back at us just now and said, "More stupid tourists." Yep, that's us. Here's a wave of the hand. That's us. We're stupid tourists.
2 right there. So most likely this is Bureau of Land Management land anyway, and then it's leased out to some cattle people.
So my dad, when we were kids, we traveled quite a bit in the Central Valley, and he taught us to make certain animal noises. Oh, there's more of a herd up here.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to mimic what my dad taught us, how to speak cow, so to speak. And oh, he looked.
There you go.
He did look, but he didn't say nothing. That was for you, Dad. I don't know if I did it right, but they didn't same thing. Oh man, there's a whole, look at them.
Yep, there's a small cluster of them over here.
There's
all using the shade. Oh, and they are a mixed match posse, aren't they?
Yes, they are. A whole bunch of them.
Looks like they may have some Angus in there, some Polled Angus.
Now,
it could also be some Dexter mix.
I don't know if Erica watches all our videos. Erica is Tim's wife. Let me say this, okay? Erica, this is the place where we can come get Cassie's calf. Okay? But we got to get it before the ear tag's on. Otherwise, they could say, well, you pilfered it. And not that you pilfered it, that we pilfered it, because Tim's in this with me. Cassie wants a calf. We can grow it up, call it steak and potatoes. Anyways.
Fun Brother Productions does not authorize or encourage the theft of live animals from their mothers as they travel throughout the countryside. However, well, that's a nice longhorn set of horns right there.
He's got sticks, and he's got something going on with his hide.
Yeah, it's got some scratches. All right.
Looks like barbed wire damage. That's a mama cow over there, and she's needing to find a way to get rid of some of that milk. She was hanging a little heavy. Now this is how you get Arizona pinstriping, folks. These are very gentle branches, but this is how you get it. Going through the bush, and that's what we call it in Arizona, going through the bush. You go through the bush and you get scratches on your paint. That's what we call Arizona pinstriping. If you don't have none, you ain't really been out in the bush. If you ain't really been out in the bush, don't talk like you have. Now, I see a little bit of a geological interesting thing going on here.
What are we looking at?
What looked like some purple earth, yeah, for sure. Let's see if we can get a good view of that. So back over my left shoulder here, folks, is there you go. Can you see that up there?
Yep, you can, just barely.
Yeah. So that's two very distinctly different colors of, would you say that's clay?
There's a lot more clay out here, so it definitely could be clay, yeah.
So we got red and tan, but they're right next to each other. The tan has hardly any growth at all. There's one tree coming out of it, whereas the purple stuff, the red stuff, has a bunch of little beads and bushes. But that's what you have out here in Arizona. Is it just, you be driving along, you're looking at stuff, and all of a sudden you'll see something like that that comes under what Tim calls Jeff's idiotic interesting, because I think there's a lot of stuff interesting that he doesn't think is interesting at all. But
well, it's different layers of sedimentary layers that have been stripped. And
my interesting stuff, though, has turned out to be pretty cool a lot of the times. So I'm thinking where we came to that Y,
we should have gone right.
If we went right, we would have went up to those tailing areas that we saw, because this is following the washes, and we're speedily
getting less accessible,
navigable road. Now, I will say the Jeep is very, very capable, as Jeeps of this type are. But at some point, you have to say to yourself, I don't think this is part of the Ghost Town Trail. I think some backtracking is involved.
Is this where we're going to do the Choose Your Own Adventure, where you go back to page 72 that you left 4 turns ago to be like, maybe I should have gone right and I wouldn't have run into the were-rats that ate all of my friends in my face. You know, those kinds of things? Yeah. Not to say that I'm a geek or a nerd, because that would be completely conjecture.
Yeah, but sometimes conjecture is fun. And that's part of the adventure. The adventure isn't about the destination. The adventure is about traveling, seeing, experiencing. Now, would you rather be in front of a video game inside a room, or would you rather be out here in the woods, the bush, exploring stuff? So this road, it looks like it meanders back and forth across this creek/wash, which is interesting, but I don't know that this is necessarily going to take us past any of the aforementioned and sought for ghost towns. It's interesting in itself, but I think we are very soon coming to the point where we have to admit we should have went a right turn. What are your thoughts on this, brother?
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
And I'm willing to ply the adventure a little farther. Woo!
Yeah.
That might be the little farther right there.
Started to get a little.
You might want to take it up and over and back around.
When the whole back end washes out, trying to go up a little hill, that might be a sign.
A sign. That's right. That's right.
Well, let's go back through that gate, say goodbye to the cows, and see if that other road.
Oh, we'll pass the cows again. But
from the distance on the paved road.
Is this the pre-gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked to us like there was some old mine works or at least some diggings.
Yeah.
And we're pretty sure that turn that we thought about making and didn't was the right turn. So I might have to stop and make a propeller check here pretty soon. All the fellas out there that are part of the channel that have subscribed, talking to my drag boat buddies, you know what a prop check is all about.
Well, it's not as bad on the other direction.
Yeah, that other road looks like it looks like we got switchbacks.
Yeah.
There's mine tailings there.
Yeah.
That looks like where we're supposed to be. Well, so that kind of confirms that.
Give her a try.
We're heading back in the right direction. It looks like it goes over the hill too. So, as we said when we started this video, we're off Harshaw Road, outside Patagonia, and this is supposed to be the Ghost Town Trail. Now, that other road could be just an access road up to those antennas.
Yeah, up to the radio tower up there.
But the only way to find out
is to give her a swing.
To go have us a look. So, the pitcher's already made his wind up. We're standing at the base. And bat's off our shoulder and we're ready to swing.
Well, the fun thing I love about this time of year out in Arizona, and in this particular area where there's a lot more clay in the soil than there is sand and silt, which also means the soil's a bit less toxic when it comes to either the acidic or alkaline, both of which are present in this area, is a lot of this, it's amazing how much a lot of this looks like parts of Idaho and Wyoming at this time of year versus, you know, the dried up nothing-scape that it can often look at.
I don't know why, but that just reminded me. I used to work with a guy in the back when I was a union glazer and worked in commercial buildings for the local 17 out of San Francisco, 718. And there was this skinny, nerdy, weird guy who was from Wyoming. And I think he had a weird name like Clancy or something like that. But he was from Wyoming, and we used to just tease this guy relentlessly. And whenever he'd say the name of his home state, Wyoming, I would put my finger up and correct him, and I'd say, "You mean Wyoming?" And he hated Wyoming being referred to as Wyoming. And we used to introduce him to new guys on the job. "Oh, this is Clancy. He's from Wyoming." I still find that funny, for some reason. Not that I'm promoting teasing or ridiculing people from, you know, about their home state or where they're from, because
And there's a friends again?
Definitely would not do that.
No. I mean, people don't say things like, "So are you from Ohio?" I'm like, sure, if that's what you want to call it. I don't care.
Or what used to be the capital of California, beautiful Benakaya. Other folks know it famously as Benicia. There's another bowl.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's try this one more time.
Remember, folks, forgiveness over permission. It might not be the best course of action, but it will lead to open gates, open roads, and lots of adventure fun. But you got to be careful, because sometimes you don't get granted forgiveness. You just you get trouble, and trouble isn't always what you want. Oh, A couple of our subscribers. Did you say you was thirsty? I found you a big old water trough. Have you a drink. Take a moment. We'll wait for Brother Little to catch back up after latching that gate. Keep them cows where they're supposed to be. And then we'll get to proceeding. I wish this had a permanent mount. That maybe if we do this. What you doing? Trying to maybe get us a more stable view. What do you think, folks? We're gonna make a little try here. We pulled the tripod up about 6 inches, and we got it wedged against the dash a little bit, seeing if we can give you a more steady.
Nope.
Steady ride.
Because now you're just going left and right.
Oh, okay. Well, we tried. We tried. We're looking out for you folks because we know that there's been some comments in the past, especially when I'm in charge of filming, where people say that the camera angle moves around too much and you can't see it steady and blah blah blah. You're a rotten filmmaker and blah blah blah. And we usually don't listen to the blah blah blahs, but sometimes you have to. So this is the turn we were supposed to make. We think. Again, we're looking for ghost towns on the Patagonia Ghost Town Trail. And this one looks like it goes past some, at least tailings or mine works of some type. Besides which, the more elevation you get, the more the view gets better.
Go take a look. Hold this.
Yeah. We'll take this with you.
Well, I'll probably pull it through the window.
So we got a little bit of a memorial going over here. And a big hole. Is that a well or?
No, it's just a giant pile of stones.
Oh,
it's not even been used for a fire. I'm not certain what that is for.
Somebody took some time to make it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this was, they had a water basin in it or something. The stones were to protect it, but that doesn't explain the concave section, collapse section right there.
And so close to a memorial.
Yeah.
See, folks, there's that word, interesting. Can't explain it, but it's interesting. And you find all kinds of interesting stuff when you go off the regular path and go exploring. Exploring is good. Adventuring is good. That's why we like to have our subscribers along with adventuring with the S.G.O.C.C. Trying to drink down my mug so it's not as top heavy.
Well, when you're out in this kind of country, it can be enjoyable, but you do need to remain hydrated. Hydration is one of the most critical considerations you have to take. So, you gotta take a moment, feel free. Oh!
So, coming across some different soils and geology, could be just from a road grader opening it up, but very interestingly, here we have a junction box for electrical.
Yep, get a few of those every quarter mile or so.
That could lend credence to this just being an access road to the antennas on top of it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Because if you don't go down the road less traveled, you don't get to see. That's why we encourage folks. Take a shot, man. Go see what you can see.
Well, we live in an era where, you know, as a kid, a lot of the good trails in Montana where I grew up, it was about knowing somebody that knew where some of them were. Yeah. Today, they're all documented someplace. It's a matter of finding a list.
Well, we found out Hershaw Road was the road to take to find this supposedly Patagonia Ghost Town Trail, but
pin oaks right there.
This is leading me more to believe this is an access road to the antennas.
Yeah.
Seeing more electrical boxes, which power the antennas. I'm not seeing anything old time constructed by man. I'm seeing a modern bulldozer and graded road. Nothing that's showing me mine tailings or mine works of any kind. You know, we're looking for stuff that happened pre-1900, pre-1920. And I'm just not getting a sense that we're going to see all of that up here. Interesting rocks that are exposed when they built the road, but I'm not seeing anything that's screaming to me that this is going to take us a great distance past ghost towns. So, what are your thoughts, Brother Little?
Well, let's see how much farther we got. See if we can find a turnaround coming up. I don't disagree with your prognosis. No, I am liking the vegetation shift. We've gone through 3 different microclimate belts. We're hitting up here into a more arid section where you got the leaves, like some of these bushes that are coming up here. Your leaves are thicker and waxier, which helps retain moisture. Yeah, I like plants. And soils. And well, if we were going to turn around, it's going to be here.
Yeah.
I'm putting my seatbelt for the descent, just in case. That way, if we get crashed, at least I'm buckled into the car while it's slowly burning and explodes. You know.
So, I heard a little noise, so I got to get out and check the propeller. My drag boat buddies will know exactly what
So the switchbacks that Tim was talking about here, not Tim, sorry, Jeff was talking about, are these up here on the mountain range. And it's just climbing all the way up. So I think Tim's assessment is correct. That on the top of this mountain, on that side, is a tall radio tower. And that's where this goes. So, in the meantime, let's see what else we can see. Here's that shrub I was talking about with thicker leaves. I almost want to say it looks like some kind of micro rhododendron, but that's obviously not true. It's kind of a wild olive or something. And we got some cedars over here. Oh, that pine sap smell, which is coming out of the cedars. It's nice. We ready to hit the road?
A little something I picked up I want to share with the folks real quick.
Sure. So, there you go. Oh, yeah. There you go.
So Cochise County is ranked number 5th on the planet for found surface stones, minerals, and gems. Very interesting. And Tim and I have identified a few places where we go to. But they're secret. If you subscribe, we'll tell you. So this is just a piece I found when I got out just now. The way to tell if a stone is just a rock or if it has value, if it can be polished, turned into a piece of jewelry, is this. When you rub it, if it has a waxy feeling to it, that will tell you it can be shaped into something. If it just feels like a porous rock, throw it out. It's, you know, it's for the front of your yard. But this could be something. It's got a deep red to it. It's got a waxy feeling. So this one we're going to put in the save pile. And maybe we'll throw it in the rock tumbler later.
traveling on these back roads, a common misconception is the climb up is the most dangerous portion. It's almost always coming down
when stuff happens.
Is when stuff happens. A, because you feel more secure going down. B, because you speed up very quickly without you understanding, and if you slam on your brakes at any point in time, the stone underneath you breaks loose and you lose all mobility. So it's important as you drive on these back roads that you take caution on your descend as much as anything else.
Also, just like a firearm ballistically, going downhill, your car weighs a lot more when you try to hit the brakes. A lot more. And and noises like that just fall out of you.
That they do. That they do.
Now a turn like this, you know, a little loose sand, and fun can be had for just a moment. Fun is good. Fun can also be dangerous, and very often is.
Especially if you lose control of said fun. It's like I've been told, jumping on the back of a cow can be a lot of fun, right up until the point the cow decides he doesn't want you to be there.
Well, that's why, you know, hippopotamus riding will never make it as an Olympic sport.
That's right.
It's just, it's one of those things that, on paper, it sounds really fun. But the guy that has to put the saddle on the hippopotamus, he's the one raising his hand saying, this is a
dumb idea.
Dumb idea.
Yeah.
And sadly, most people don't listen to the guy trying to put the horse or the saddle on the hippopotamus. They're called a river horse. Doesn't mean they have anything to do with a horse. And riding one, I imagine, would very likely be your end. Oh, by the way, for anybody wondering, the propeller was perfectly fine. In good shape. No tangles. Just in case anybody was wondering.
Are you trying to get my arm field stripped off? Is that what you're trying to do? Bank it into those mesquite bushes?
I did on mine. Here, let me put one on my side. Here we go.
There we go.
Oh man, the ruts that the monsoons create in these off-road conditions are serious. There's the gate we went through, so we've got a little bit of ways to get back to pavement, and then we will continue up the Harshaw Road. I think we're 5 miles from Harshaw. So we shall see what we shall see. So when you're out in the bush like this, you got to make some critical assessments. You can't just assume every dirt road you go on is going to lead you to where you want to go. As you're traveling along said dirt road, you got to be able to say, you know, I think this is going to cause us more problem than satisfaction.
Right.
And you know, a lot of times people get in a lot of trouble because they just continue down a road when all the signs are saying, turn back, Joe! And Joe don't turn back. And Joe's wife is nagging him and his kids are calling his phone. And Joe gets in trouble. Joe has a flat tire or a breakdown. And the oldest boy that was supposed to put the case of water in didn't, so now everybody's thirsty. And things just escalate really wildly, out of control, in a very, very fast pace. So, pay attention to your surroundings. Also pay attention to your ability to off-road and the abilities of your vehicle. You know, somebody might come out here in a vehicle that they have no business in that vehicle out on these kind of terrain and areas, and they're going to get in trouble. And this is Arizona. If you're driving up a wash, like this right here is a wash that we're driving up.
Yep.
Very short piece, but if a monsoon burst comes, you're going to have a whole lot of water all of a sudden that you're not going to be able to handle. If you get stuck in that wash, you're in trouble. If you don't bring enough water trouble. And even though it's green and beautiful and lush and really, really beautiful, it is still a harsh desert environment. Understand that, realize that, and know that. I don't want to see people coming out to the woods and bush, getting in trouble, doing stuff they ought not to be doing. So,
all right, we're gonna cut it here for a second.
Canyon too high.
And when we get to the next dirt road to give another shout out, we'll I guess start part 2.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll make a playlist out of this, folks.
Till then.